All right, time for another interview in place. And this week, another Senior Associate Athletics Director. It's Blake Sasaki joining us. Blake, it's good to see you. Good to talk with you. How you doing?
Great, Justin. Awesome to talk to you as well, man.
I think you win for the best background so far because I see nearly every sport accounted for back there, and I see a Spartan helmet. So it can't be wrong, right?
Yeah, I think when you've been in this industry for as many years as I've been, you start to kind of collect things along the way. And, I've got some autographed baseballs that are only signed by Cy Young award-winning pitchers. I've got some things from my Cal days, from my 49ers days, going to a couple Super Bowls. And of course, the most prized one is the Spartan
There you
helmet
go.
right there.
Only Cy Young Award winners. That's just a tough shelf to get on then, huh?
Absolutely.
I mean, and you've seen these interviews in place, so we're going to start off with some pretty lighthearted questions here. One thing I want to ask you is what you've been doing during your shelter in place, and a lot of people have talked about spending time with their family and whatnot. But what have you been up to?
Yeah, that's probably been the biggest thing is, being able to spend more time with. I've got two young boys, and they need a lot of time with me too because they're just all over the place. And unfortunately, with my wife working as well, we don't get to spend as much time with them
Right.
during the spring and summertime. So that's probably the one benefit out of it. But personally, I've been doing a lot more fishing. I love to fish, and I love to garden. And so
Okay.
those are two of my hobbies: is fishing and gardening. And I've been able to dedicate a lot more time towards those two hobbies. And then just, again, going on bike rides, going on walks with my families have been a blessing.
And now, in the interest of full transparency, Blake and I spend a lot of time on Zoom meetings, just in the day to day. You mentioned the freshwater trifecta when you're talking about fishing.
Oh, good
Have you
knowledge, Justin.
now have you see? I'm an ocean fisherman
Yeah,
myself,
okay. All right.
but have you completed the freshwater trifecta?
I did. It was 45 years of fishing. I grew up in a small farm town, Marysville. There's 3 rivers that flow through the town, a ton of lakes. And so I grew up fishing. My dad was a fisherman, and he taught me everything that I know. And I'm trying to teach my kids the same. And so in 45 years of fishing, I have never caught in the same weekend a largemouth bass, a trout, and a catfish, which, are 3 freshwater fish, and probably the most popular freshwater fish.
Right, right.
And was able to accomplish that last weekend when I went back home to Marysville and had my kids with me. So it was a pretty special moment for me.
Now, can you share your fishing spot, or is that a secret?
I can't share yes. The bass fishing spot is actually a friend of mine who has a private pond.
Okay.
So it's always easier to catch on a private pond because it's less pressured. So we all know that. And then for trout fishing, I went up to Deer Creek, which is just outside of Chico, in between Lake Almador and Chico. And then for catfish fishing, we were in Dixon, Clarksburg area, just in
Okay.
some of the sloughs back there. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, we're talking with Blake Sasaki, and Blake, I will get into some business here with you. And one thing that came up was a title change for you. A week ago, or a week and a half ago, went from external relations, and you added on now one of the longest titles in college athletics. Can you describe what that is, and maybe tell us exactly what the title is?
Yeah, I may have to come up with some type of acronym at some point, but basically my title was Senior Associate Athletic Director for External Relations, and then was added an "and" to it, a strategic revenue generation. So basically what that means is it kind of solidifies what I had always been doing, and that's basically overseeing and managing all of the kind of third-party rights holders. So Learfield, Aspire with ticketing, and Pivot marketing for our naming rights opportunities. So, 5 or 6 years ago was kind of the first foray into it, with hiring a naming rights partner to get CEFQ Stadium named. And it was a lot of work, and it was probably 2 years in the making to get that naming rights opportunity off. And it's been a great partnership, since then. And so then Marie came on board, and she wanted to look at other opportunities around the South Campus and on main campus. And then we got the buy-in from Charlie Foss, our CFO, and obviously Dr. Papazian. And here we are. And then we were able to secure the Provident Credit Union Event Center since then. And now we're working on South Campus and the Spartan Athletic Center and other areys throughout campus.
Certainly a lot of opportunity for the outside companies to make an impact on campus for athletics, right?
Absolutely.
Maybe describe your job title before and now, and what the biggest difference is for you, and how you can describe that.
Well, I think there's just going to be more of a focus on revenue generation. So I've always been this way, but I think especially with my title now is every day I wake up, I'm thinking, how can we generate more revenue for the athletics department in the university? And with this new title, that will be my main priority in all facets. So that's everything from development, from licensing to naming rights, to helping our Learfield folks out with sponsorships, and then obviously working with Aspire in trying to generate more ticket revenue.
Yeah.
Cross our fingers that we're going to be able to sell tickets here in the near future. But so that's kind of the areas that we're looking at from a revenue. Yeah,
certainly now more than ever, the revenue generation is going to be more important, especially come this fall. And that brings us to the next topic. You and your staff, what kind of conversations do you have with your staff on a day-to-day, trying to, I guess, project what is going to play out when late August comes and sports start back up?
Yeah, we're working very diligent, and you're a big part of this, Justin, is we're looking at every scenario that could possibly happen this fall, whether it's playing with the full crowd, playing with limited crowds, playing a delayed season, playing a season in the spring. There's probably 5 or 6 different scenarios, and we've been working tirelessly, every week on what those scenarios look like. And we're trying to plan. Before we had planning for kind of one scenario, and that's to play a football season. Now it's actually busier because we're trying to plan for 5 or 6 different scenarios. And there's just a lot going into it. And as everyone says, things are changing daily.
Yeah.
And things are changing, and we may have to adjust and pivot our plans. And it's just something that every day we have to kind of keep our eyes and ears open and maybe adjust our plans.
And all the while, I think it's important too that the department continues to do other things to make sure that the fans, one, feel welcomed when things do resume, but then also they feel that we're reaching out to them and supporting them even when they can't be around. So and one of those ways this week in particular is the Thankathon, and that's been talked a lot about in the meetings that you and I sit in. And maybe you could just kind of describe that whole process and what the athletes and the staff are doing.
Yeah, Justin, I'm so glad that you brought that up. It's a really important thing that we're doing, a campaign that we're doing, where we just want to reach out to all of our past donors, our current donors, our season ticket holders, everyone that's kind of involved with Spartan Athletics, and just reach out. And we're coordinating our coaches and our student athletes and our staff to call over 9,000 Spartan fans just to say thank you and check in and see how everyone is doing. And that is it.
Right.
We just want to reach out and just say thank you and see how you're doing. And so for all you Spartan fans out there, be on the lookout. If you see a number, a 408 number that's coming from San Jose State, answer it, and you may be in for a surprise.
You never know who's going to be on the other end, right?
It could be Justin Allegri, it could be Marie Tuitt, it could be Brent Brennan, it could be Lauren Hansen, you name it. So we're looking forward to launching that this week. Very good stuff. All right, that's Blake Sasaki. Blake, people don't know, but you have your fishing boots on right now, so I'll let you get back to whatever you're going to be doing. Well, unfortunately, I don't get to fish. I get to fish more, but I wish I could fish every single day. But we'll save that for retirement. Yeah, you just got to get your own pond. That's the thing, right? It's funny you say that, Justin. when I talk about my dream home, I talk about having a pond, my own personal private pond on it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, but that's probably a long ways down the road, Justin.
All right. Well, Blake, thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
I appreciate your time, Justin. Thank you.